Now, the person who's coming in here, I would call him a Renaissance businessman. Is that fair, Colin? I mean, the guy has been everywhere and done everything. He's built in hardware. He's worked in software. He's a software engineer. He launched Platables, which is with DTC dog food brand, several experiences in venture as a fellow, now sourcing deals. Now he's a partner at Happy Labs, and he's building NOKT, NOKT sleeping gummies. I'm talking about the one and only Lucas Hazan. Lucas, get in here. Good, baby. We're good.
Let's go. How you guys doing?
Lucas, doing great, man. We're doing even better now that you are here, brother. And man, I've been seeing you from afar, but not knowing all of your background and all that you're working on now. I consider you to be a bit of a Renaissance man in that you've done software, hardware, VC, sourcing deals, all these things. You've done DTC, and now you're doing what you do with Happy Labs. But it looks to me like the approach to building and scaling DTC brands with Happy Labs is a little bit different than maybe just a traditional agency or a traditional kind of VC-backed startup. Tell us what is going on at Happy Labs, and just give us perspective on what you're doing there from a foundational level.
Yeah, no, appreciate hopping on the show. But naturally, a lot of things I've done is just based off curiosity more than anything. And going into Happy Labs, I wanted it to be a machine that allows me to just kind of go deeper into what I'm thinking about, what I want to work on, what's interesting in the space of DTC, or more so consumer. So initially, I was really fascinated by Tabs Chocolate, which Oliver Mercado, he scaled horizontally with a bunch of UGC creators to, I believe, 11 or 18 million ARR in, I think, 18 months. And their gross margin was disgusting, apparently. Wow. It was like so good. And naturally, the space of paid is just only getting more expensive. Yeah. So I was always going from the angle of like, paid is just getting more expensive and organic is only going to be more prevalent in the future, where brands need to be scaling on organic. May it be UGC, AI content, clipping, faceless, static slideshows, you name it. Like, there has to be a way for you to scale efficiently and effectively while also without like just burning your pockets. Because right now I'm working in for NOKT specifically, the whole crux of it was to be very viral on like social media and also be prepared for retail. And we've been D2C for the most part. We're in a few retailers, but the whole game is just attention eyeballs. And that's how I've thought of just social media or consumer in general for the past 2 years. And I'm working on NOKT, and I'm also building infrastructure. I built NOKT product first with the understanding of like distribution and play. But now I'm almost shifting towards like a distribution first model where like I'm building the infrastructure to catapult anything forward. So maybe clipping, maybe UGC, maybe TikTok shop. Like, I'm building the powerhouse so that you can kind of just plug in any product and just like blow it up out of the water. And yeah, I mean, like, you could scale, like if you do that with paid acquisition, your CAC just lowers immensely and you're just able to grow more profitably. Because I have friends that have raised like tens of millions of dollars and they're looking at like 3 to 6 month CAC or payback. And then like, God willing, your retention is going to hold up. But like, be day one profitable. That's fucking great. Excuse me.
No, absolutely.
It's insane. Like it's a bloodbath on paid acquisition. So like, I'm paying someone over here like $800 to produce 60 videos, and then we're getting like a 25x on return on that money. And like it's just a game of like virality, but also conversion. So like the best viral brands are like TikTok shop brands because they understand direct response marketing. But then like you look at the consumer app space and like they know how to go just blow anything up from viral lens. So like going back to the Renaissance, like I like to study all different angles and like see how everyone's doing it, from drop shippers to consumer app founders to e-com bros scaling on paid ads. So yeah, that's kind of how I've been thinking about Happy Lab. So we focus on NOKT to start. focus more distribution. And like, as far as like what other businesses, we're figuring that out. But yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff, and it's been very profitable. So just
That's
to say
great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I mean, just from what I'm hearing, Chris, this is echoing a ton of trends that we've been seeing
Yeah.
in the space right now. I think it's really interesting also what you're doing with NOKT as well, where you are changing the form factor. You're making it really accessible for folks, which is half of the battle, you know? Like a lot of the times I'll bring up Create Gummy, where they basically changed the form factor of creatine, made it more accessible, made it easier. I see you guys being able to, you know, sleep, that trend of sleep, how it's exploded over the past, you know, year, 2 years with the Brian Johnsons of the world, the Andrew Hubermans of the world. I see you guys kind of fitting in there with these high performance athletes. Are you trying to think of it that way? Or are you just saying, hey, we're getting everybody?
So I was a D1 rower in college, and I do triathlons for fun. And I thought it was going to be for like people in their 20s, 30s, early 40s, maybe, that are like super out there, like just getting after it, optimizing their sleep, waking up early to just grind. And it's for literally like 55-plus-year-old people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's your demo. I think that's actually your target
That's
demo.
awesome.
Yeah. So
That's
like
awesome. That's awesome.
we're running like Facebook organic like plays
Yeah.
and stuff. Like, it's very much like it's a different approach to a lot of like things you see in different areas where you could do it differently. But
Sure.
yeah, that's for sure. So like, I would want it to be for athletes, and there is a
Sure.
niche for that for sure. And we do have a subset, like we sell in the feed, and we do very well there.
Yep.
And it's just like, I think naturally the old people, they got to sleep.
Old people can't sleep and they have to. Okay, tell us about this, because you've got this background. You've been watching what Oliver did with Tabs. You're setting up this infrastructure for virality via organic to cut down on the bloodbath of paid acquisition. And talk to us about putting that playbook in with an unexpected demo. It's with mom and it's with grandma rather than with the 23-year-old yoga instructor that probably looks gorgeous on screen, but is it your ultimate buyer? Talk to us about that delta and how you've been navigating that strategy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just testing and iterating. Like, we were doing, I don't know if you know Cal AI, like their whole CPM strategy, where like you work with influencers, like on a fitness influencers, for like, we'll pay you $2 to $3 CPM, and you'll make $3,000 from this video if you hit it out of the park, or we pay you nothing, or we'll pay you like $30 or something. Like, we've tested everything, but like right now, AI content, not to be the one in the room, but like AI UGC is crushing. It's very, like, I'm saying, like, it's converting at like a 0.5% to 1% on a video lens. So you get like 400,000 views, you're getting $40,000 potentially from that video.
My.
Yeah.
My. And
So
I think a point that a lot of people have brought up too is like, hey, maybe sometimes you can tell, maybe sometimes you can. I do think the tech that I've seen, it just keeps getting better and better. But especially who cannot tell is grandma. Grandma cannot tell. Grandma needs to sleep, and she's getting to win some. She's getting to win some video here that's explaining her problem and the solution. So that makes sense.
We're just helping people sleep at night. We're telling them to we're providing value to the marketplace.
Absolutely.
Nice.
That is really interesting. Yeah, I mean, tell me this: why is sleep so hot? Because I've seen this. I mean, it's sleep. I've seen a number of products that have been coming out now. I know everybody's into just optimizing their health, et cetera. But are there any other macro trends that speak to you why sleep is all of a sudden like a hot category that there's significant opportunity in?
Well, I think it's just, there's a lot of just studies coming out about like productivity and sleep. And I think it's also much more tied to the younger demographic that like wants to be hyper focused or hyper productive. So I think there is like that macro trend of like the biohackers that are looking to like optimize, but it's like we also live in this sphere of like the Twitter world where it's only 10,000 or a few thousand people versus like the average Joe from Idaho that is 55 years old that is like your body produces less melatonin over time. So like you actually need something to help you fall asleep at night. So I think there's a mac like a more of a micro trend than anything.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, 2026 just started, kind of. We're a little bit through it now. What's on like the frontier for you guys? How are you guys kind of approaching the rest of this year? What's some big goals that you guys want to knock off, and how are you guys kind of seeing the rest of this year play out for the brand?
Yeah, so I think sleep is a very tough category. It's very black or white. I was talking to a friend earlier today, like anything with a physiological like expectation or effect, like it's going to be tough to compete in that market. Because like you're either going to feel it or you're not. Naturally, like we are melatonin products, so like melatonin like works, but I think continuing to build out the creative infrastructure, the flywheel where we're generating tens to millions to even billions of views on a monthly basis. Because like if you can do that, you can scale very profitably and very far. And there's many brands that are getting to like 8 figures a month range by just organic alone. Like you could look at Base Bodyworks is a great example. They have like a TikTok shop live that's 24/7, and they're just absolutely crushing on it.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like I think TikTok Shop Live is like a very like it's not even slept on. It's just like you need the infrastructure in place to get that going. But I think that's just like one trend of many, and just trying to continue to build out the infrastructure. We're not posting like 100 times a day, but maybe 1,000 times a day or tens of thousands. Like look at Comfort. Comfort's posting, I think, 15,000 or 30,000 times a month or something. It's
crazy.
It's insane. So, and I keep going back to it. It's like Alex Hormozy has a quote. It's like, do so much volume that it's impossible for you to not succeed. And that's just like, that's it. It's just a volume game.
Well, that's why we're on this show every day, Lucas, because we're trying to be the embodiment of that volume. You know, give me this perspective. I think you are, I don't want to say non-typical, but you do stick out to me as having been a software engineer who is now, launching a consumer product. A lot of times those two sides of the brain don't necessarily end up in the same place. Now, what does that background in software and engineering, what has that brought to the table for you that has been a help? Lessons wise, data wise, processes wise, is there anything that it's a superpower of sorts that helps you in building NOKT and what you have coming in the future?
I mean, I think I'm just a jack of all trades, a master of none. I was like a hacker when I was a kid. So naturally, I studied computer science in college. So that was also naturally like my first job out of college. But then I went very quickly like product roles because I just hated the work I was doing and I just didn't enjoy it. Like I don't really like coding per se, but like it's very aligned with my interests. But I've always been much more product design like minded. So I just like to see things from all different perspectives because like knowing one way is knowing no way. So that's why I like to like just dabble into everything and like kind of read the room and see how other people are doing things.
Knowing one way is knowing no way. Bars for you, Lucas. I see you.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable. I am so bullish on what you're building, especially with the form factor, and you're kind of baking out exactly my theory for the successful founder moving forward, and I think you're also super passionate about it. Do you see any other brands kind of in this space that you're friends with that you're like, these guys are also going to crush a ton as well, that you're just kind of, you're friends with, maybe not competition, but you're seeing them on the way up and talking with them as well?
I think anyone that's just really focused on organic versus like paid, I think that's just the future. We're only going to be more on social media. Like campaigns are being moved by social media now. It's just like, this is the future. And like being able to grab attention and drive eyeballs to a sale is like the biggest power that you can have, because paid acquisition is only going to get more expensive and Zuck is only going to just pull the levers to get more margin. So that's the game.
That's right. That's the game, and he owns the land that we're playing on.
Exactly.
Well, Lucas, man, we appreciate you joining the show and giving us the inside look on what's happening. Man, I'm excited to hear more about the infrastructure that you're building on the organic side and what other products you might be able to put inside of that infrastructure you're building. Man, where should people find NOKT? Where should they follow you? Give us 30 seconds on that before we go so we can stay up to date.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the time. This is actually the first like live thing I've ever done.
First of many.
Yeah, first of many. If you need help sleeping, go to trynokt.com. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Hazan0608. It's HAZAN 0608. But
awesome.
Appreciate the time.
We appreciate you, man. We look forward to having you back, brother.
All right, guys. Take care.